Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a Foundry Wax resist background, and then we're going to decorate the rest of the card with some die cuts that are also accented with the Foundry Wax. So first things first, I'm going to emboss the background of my paper with this 3D embossing folder, and then I need to let it completely dry before we go any further. All right, my background is dry. In my original card, I did some statue Foundry Wax. On this one, I'm going to do Mind. It's got a little bit of a different color, and nice to see the same design in the different colors. So I'm just using the Foundry Wax around the edges, and then once I've got all the edges done, I'm going to just put it on the raised surfaces as much as possible. You have to have a little bit more control when the wax is in the more liquid state. As it starts to dry, you can use a little bit more pressure. But you're going to put as much or as little as you want on there, and then you're going to use a heat gun to bring that leafing to the surface. And I'm going to take some isopropyl alcohol, spray it on that Foundry Wax that's left on my mat, and quickly clean it up. It cleans up super easy. And then I'm going to use a variety of colored sprays. I'll list which ones I've used in the description below, and I'm going to use it on that background. I also get another piece of mixed media heavy stock, and I'm going to use the same colors on that piece as well. It's for die cutting the birds later. I'm going to also add some purple to this one as well, just so it's a little bit different, so it sticks out from the background. And then we need to let that dry completely. So our backgrounds are completely dry, and you can still see the Foundry Wax. It totally resisted all those sprays. If by chance some of it got covered by some of the oxide spray, just hit it a little bit with the heat gun and that'll rise to the surface. So I'm going to take my sprayed paper as well as a couple other cardstocks, and I'm going to die cut them, as you can see, with the birds and with the wreaths. I'm just taking my 3D background and gluing it onto the card base so that that can dry while I am inking and waxing the bird. Now, I put some jars of water on my acrylic block in order to weigh it down, and that was a mistake that you'll see later because I forgot the fact that I'm a little bit of a klutz, and I decided to knock one over. Nothing was ruined, it's just water, but if you're like me, you might not want to do that. So all I'm doing now is inking the outside of the birds, and I'm laying the different pieces on top of each other. And then after that, I'm going to use the same color Foundry Wax that I used for the background, and I'm going to highlight the different parts of the bird. And then I'm going to thin it out with some isopropyl alcohol and flick some dots on it so that the bird has some spots on them. And then hit it with a heat gun to make that leafing come to the surface. And right here is when you see why never to use jars of water on your desk as a weight. Lesson learned, won't do it again. Now I'm going to assemble the rest of the card. And for the gold vellum, I'm only putting the glue on the back part that is going to be covered by the bird. My other wreath is going to be on top of that gold vellum, and it's going to hold it in place anyways, so I don't need to worry about getting glue where I'm not going to see it. Now I'm going to glue the bird down. That's the last step for the card. And our card is completely finished. And there's the two different colors.